Gabriel Rosado versus Jermell Charlo taking place tomorrow night. This fight's going down, man. To me, this fight actually is the main event to me. I like this fight for numerous reasons, man. A lot of different reasons. I'm glad it's actually taking place before the actual main event, which is Lamont Peterson versus Diari Jean. We're going to see how, Lamont Peterson, how he could come back from his, devastating, defeat from Lucas Matisse last year. He's going up against Diari Jean. Now, Diari Jean, I don't know too much about this dude to to do like a solid, set in stone, bold prediction. One thing I will say that I've said it before and I'll say it again: you can never underestimate unknown fighters. Fighters that are not totally known by a majority of the boxing public. I never underestimate any unknown fighter, man, because you never know what they're going to bring. Upsets happen all the time when people least expect it. But the one thing I will say is that anytime you're going up against somebody in their own backyard, you're really going to have to dominate the dude from the beginning of the first round, pretty much all the way up to all the way. You're either gonna have to knock him out or you're gonna have to clearly dominate the fight. You never want to leave it into the hands of the judges. When you're in somebody else's backyard, you're just gonna have to do everything in your willpower, man, to stop that dude, or just clearly look so good where it's like literally impossible for the judges to give you the decision. I'm sorry, to give your opponent the decision. I'm sorry about that, but anyways, let's talk about this fight, man, because this fight is actually very intriguing to me for a lot of different reasons. Now, Gabriel Rosado in 2013, he had a pretty bad year. Number one, a lot of people fail to realize, man, but this dude is not afraid, to get in there with the best. And he's not afraid to prove himself, man. He's fought actually. Jermell Charlo will be his fourth undefeated fighter in a row. You don't see a lot of fighters doing that nowadays, man. So I just want to say up front, I take my hat off to Gabriel Rosado, man. I got mad respect for that dude. Anytime you fight in the most hardest competition, it really says a lot about you and your character, man. And to me, when you're fighting that amount, that competition 4 times in a row like that, it's not easy to always come out on top. You know what I'm saying? So I take my hat off to Gabriel Rosado, man. That dude's a warrior, and we're going to see what happens in this fight. But anyways, this dude started out by fighting Gennady Golovkin, okay? Gennady Golovkin was the most feared middleweight, pretty much the most feared middleweight at that time. I mean, Gennady Golovkin was knocking everybody out. Gabriel Rosado knew that going into the fight. But, when he went in there with Gennady Golovkin, obviously, dude got bloodied up pretty quick. By now it's obvious that Gabriel Rosado, he gets cut very easily. I actually know some people like that. They get nosebleeds really easily and stuff like that. You can slap the person, they'll get a nosebleed. But Gennady Golovkin bloodied up pretty bad, and the fight got stopped. I'm not really sure if he's ever been actually knocked out. It's obvious that he's actually been stopped. So, but I'm not really sure if he's actually been completely knocked out. After Gennady Golovkin, he goes on to fight Jermell Charlo. I actually thought he won that fight, but it was kind of close. Gabriel Rosado couldn't actually, the judges saw it for Jermell Charlo. people were saying that it was a TMT kind of card. A lot of TMT fighters were on it, so it just didn't go his way that night when he fought Jalen Love. They tried to do a rematch. Jalen Love later, popped for, I believe, it was like some kind of diuretic, so that rematch fell through. After that, he goes on to face um, Peter Quillen, who I think was a champion at the time, the IBF middleweight champion. um, Same thing pretty much happened with him and Gennady Golovkin. He got stopped due to a very bad cut. Obviously there was a lot of controversy in that fight. Gabriel Rosado wanted to, continue. By the doctor's note, he said, "Hey, man, it's not safe for you to, keep on fighting like this." Gabriel Rosado was talking a lot of stuff in that post-fight press conference, saying how these judges, these referees, all these other different things of boxing are ruining people's dreams, and he said a lot of stuff, man. And for some part, for most part, it was true. But then at the other part, it's not like at the end of the day, if you're in a boxing fight and you're getting cut, regardless if you bleed easily, you get cut easily, that's not really the issue. The problem is if you get cut, it's not because you really got to go in there. You really have to defend yourself because the bleeding from the cuts just don't happen magically. It's not like your opponent could snap his fingers and start making you bleed. Peter Quillen had some very fast he had some very fast punches going that fight. It was catching Gabriel Rosado off guard. So at the end of the day, I noticed a lot of people were hating on Peter Quillen, this and that. But at the end of the day, all he did was just fight his fight. Peter Quillen is not a ringside doctor. He's not the referee. Any fighter's job is just to go in there and just fight. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happens after that, with the judges and the referees and all that stuff, that's something that they can't control. You know what I'm saying? So it's really going to be up to Gabriel Rosado in this fight against Jermell Charlo to, really, defend himself at all times. More than ever now, because I think Jermell Charlo knows that he's really going to have to, he's really going to have to go in there. He's really going to want to stop this dude by cuts, just like against Golovkin and just like Quillen. I think Charlo is going to, if he could get a small cut, Charlo is going to, he's going to be like a great white shark smelling blood in a tank. And Charlo is going to press for that attack. So, even though to me there's still somewhat of a little black cloud hanging over Jermell Charlo, because the only thing we could really say about him, the man has very solid skills. He has a good jab. He's a very explosive fighter. He don't waste no time right when that bell rings. But the only thing we can honestly say about Jermell Charlo is his lack of experience. He has not fought the level of opposition that Gabriel Rosado has fought. Now, will that mean anything in this fight? It could, and it could not. But I believe that Jermell Charlo is going to win this fight. I think it's going to be another close fight. I actually think that Jermell Charlo is going to give him a cut. There's going to be a lot of blood again. As the fights go, as the rounds go on longer and longer. I believe it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same shit from Gabriel Rosado's previous fights. They're going to have the ring doctor check his eye, and they're going to stop the fight again. And I think that by the time the fight will be stopped, I think that it's going to be close on the, it's going to be pretty close on the scorecards. I think that's what I feel. I think, um, I believe that Gabriel Rosado is really going to have to focus on defense more than anything in this whole entire fight. He's really going to have to focus on his defense, keep the jab popping, because this dude is a very explosive fighter, man. Don't give him that distance by getting, trying to let him get on the, make it on the inside fighting game. So you got to keep doubling up that jab, and just do whatever that you could do to not get cut in this fight, man, because them stopping the fight due to a cut is going to cause more controversy again, I think. And I just want to see a good, clean, competitive fight. I will not be surprised, if Rosado gets cut again. But I believe Charlo, if he could win this fight, I believe this is going to open him up for another big title fight. I don't think there's a I believe there's not a title at stake on this line. I know Charlo has some kind of like weird belt. I don't even know what kind of belt it is. I mean, I've seen it before. I doubt that's going to be on the line, but shit, we might see him if he could beat Rosado, he might land a shot against Erislandy Lara. I think this is going to position him for some kind of big, title fight. I think, or some big name opponent at least, if not for a belt. If Rosado loses this fight, I don't know what's going to happen at that point. I believe the man is at 7 losses right now. He's like 22, 21, and 7 or something like that. I don't even know. They might. I don't even know if they're going to make him retire. Now I don't think they're going to make him retire if he loses this fight. I don't see it happening. But that's the way how I see this fight, man. I think Charlo is gonna, he's gonna get it, man. That's how I see this fight going down.